Nelson just said something that has every boxing fan on edge. His words about Crawford's current state hit like a knockout punch to the entire sport. But on the other hand, Crawford's trainer Spikes declared everything is going to work, everything is going to be perfect. His weight is good, his legs are fine, his mind is sharp, we've done our homework, everything's going to be fine. Meanwhile, Canelo believes he's facing another challenger, but he might be walking straight into boxing's most dangerous setup. So, Spikes dropped an even scarier truth about what makes Canelo truly deadly.
First and foremost, Canelo is a smart fighter. Like, people are more concerned looking at the size, but Canelo is an intelligent boxer. There's always a method to what he's doing. So let me just make that clear. We're not going in there just looking at size. Canelo is smart. Canelo set traps. He has good timing, solid defense. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's respect given to Canelo and everything that he's accomplished. He's seen every style. He's overcome a lot of obstacles that he's been faced with. So I don't want the narrative, you know, I see that the narrative is size, but Canelo is a smart fighter in his own right. However, like I told you before, our IQ, our toolbox, same situation I told you last time. Picking the right tool at the right time is going to beat this guy. We're prepared for every situation possible, whether it's on the ropes, center of the ring, wherever you want to put it. We're prepared for any and every scenario come fight now.
Crawford's team isn't just training for Canelo's punches, they're planning to destroy his mental game completely. While everyone debates Canelo's sparring partners, Spikes couldn't care less about the noise.
We can't be worried about what he's doing. He's doing the right thing to get the best guys to try to get him prepared. I mean, he should be taking Bud serious. I hope he's not taking Bud lightly. So, I mean, obviously he's taking his camp serious and getting good guys in there to push him. I mean, we got good guys in us to push us. We're crossing our T's and dotting our I's. It doesn't matter what he does over there. And at the same time, a lot is made due about sparring and just overall, like 16 ounces in headgears is different than 10 ounces and under the lights. So with that being said, me personally, I'm not concerned about, and our team, we're not concerned about who we sparring with, this and that and other. That's why I made the joke on Twitter. Well, I hope the odds swing in his favor since he's working with Boots and everybody think that that's such a huge advantage for him. Okay, so I was just making a little joke about it, and I'm serious at the same time. So
Spikes doesn't worry about Canelo's camp. He only cares about what's happening in their gym. They believe Crawford is ready for whatever Canelo throws at him.
I'm gonna say styles make fights. Styles make fights. Littler guys with more skill have beaten bigger guys over the years. Like, it's happened. Like you said, Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler. You could say when Michael Spinks moved to heavyweight, he was a light heavyweight champion. Evander Holyfield was a light heavyweight cruiserweight champion. Usyk is a smaller guy. It's not a natural, I mean, he's grown into the weight now, but he's beating bigger guys with his boxing skill. I mean, it goes on and on. Skills pay the bills at the end of the day. It's just about being prepared, having a good game plan, and having the right dog in the race. You know what I mean? And that's what matters.
Crawford is just coming to make history. Every time people said impossible, the impossible happened. Now Crawford wants to prove it again. Crawford's path here wasn't easy. Spikes admitted their preparation faced real challenges.
Madrimov was a tricky style. He did a lot of feints. He wasn't committing. He was very patient. You know, this is a completely different style from what Canelo's going to bring. So, you know, Madrimov gave us a little bit of difficulty. He came to win. He came prepared. But we overcame the obstacle, you know, and that's just that. That's in the past, and, you know, we're looking towards Canelo.
Madrimov's weird style created serious problems. It pushed Crawford to his limits, forced him to evolve and fix every flaw. But that struggle prepared him for something much bigger. Canelo won't bring tricky moves, he'll bring pure destruction. And that destruction is exactly what Crawford has been training for. Spikes got completely honest about something most people avoid: Canelo's defeat to Bivol.
I can't get into that, but I'm gonna say that I love Bivol. I love Dimitri Bivol. He's one of my favorite fighters. He lost to a hell of a fighter. He lost to a future Hall of Famer, and you know, that's just that. There's nothing I can really say about that. He didn't lose to a regular guy. He lost to a pound for pound elite fighter and a bigger guy at that. So, I mean, that's not much that I can really say about that. But as far as his improvements, he's shown some things, but you know, you'll see us exploit him on fight night.
Yes, Canelo lost to Bivol, but Spikes made it clear Canelo didn't lose because he was weak. He lost to greatness. That's respect without fear. They've studied every improvement Canelo made after that loss. Here's the scary part. They're going to use those improvements against him. This fight isn't about the past. It's about who controls the future. The biggest myth about this fight? That size determines the winner. Spikes just destroyed that lie completely.
He's fought a bigger guy since he was 14, 15 years old. So size doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's a skill. It's what you got up here and it's what you got here. Everything else will fall into place.
Cohorts, since nothing to Crawford. He's been breaking that rule since he was young. Fighting bigger, stronger men has been his speciality. The real battle happens in your mind, not on the scale.
One thing for sure is Canelo is going to feel his power. Canelo is going to respect Bud Crawford. He's not going to be able to just walk through him and whatever he thinks. You know what I mean? Bud is a very strong fighter. He's a very good puncher. And like I said before, this is going to be the key in this. Punching power, speed, timing, all that's good. But it's a mental game. This is what's going to carry us through that night.
This sounds less like prediction and more like a guarantee. Then Nelson revealed insider information that changes everything about this fight.
Yeah, people gotta understand, man, like every fight is different. There are so many perspectives and so many things that go on, and not to reveal everything, but that fight was that fight. This fight for Canelo, man, like, it's not fight night yet, but him moving up, people are gonna be surprised. Dude is not like, it's not like he's a small guy and he just put on a whole bunch of weight. Like, Bud is, he's a bigger frame. He always been bigger. He always had to cut down. He always had to cut down to them weights. So now he gets the difference from this fight is he won't have to cut down. He just go in the ring. You look at all this weights for all the other fights, it's 168, 170. So when he fought 154, he was like 170, 172 going in the ring. So he's gonna go in there the same way this fight. He's strong, man. He's strong.
Crawford isn't coming in weak or undersized. This is Crawford at his most dangerous weight. Not drained, not limited. A fighter finally unleashed at full power. Crawford isn't moving up. He's finally fighting at his true home. Nelson shared stories about Crawford that few people know.
Me and Bud been sparring since I've been boxing. But even before I spar, Bud always sparred bigger guys. You know, he's Lester Martinez and other heavyweights and light heavyweights and middleweights, wherever he can get, where he can get, man. And he always hold himself down. He always hold his ground, man. And people just don't know until they get in the ring. And they always say, just like Errol said, man, Bud power is real. It's real, man. And it's like, people say what he can and shouldn't, couldn't, haven't been. Like, that's what makes people great. Anybody that's ever been great, they always did something that people didn't expect.
Right.
And that's going to be Bud. He's going to do something that nobody is expecting. A lot of people is expecting are real supporters, but a lot of people who's a doubter are going to be like, dang. Or they're going to come up with excuses like always.
From his first day in the gym, Crawford was battling giants, fighting men much bigger and stronger. That's where his iron will was forged. That's where today's confidence was born. Crawford has been unconsciously preparing for Canelo his entire life. Then Andre Ward dropped insider knowledge that completely shifts how we see this fight.
I think the initial conversation was warranted. He's really moving up 3 weight classes since his last fight at 147 with Errol Spence roughly about 2 years ago. So it's really a 3 weight class jump. I think what people have to understand, and I had to understand this when I moved up to face Sergey Kovalev, I went and I consulted with Mackie Shieldstone. And I kept using the phrase, I'm moving up in weight. I'm moving up in weight. I got to get my body ready to move up in weight. He said, have you seen the scale lately? Have you looked at your body scan lately? And I think at that time I was like maybe 185, 188. He said, you're not moving up in weight. You're just cutting less. And that was like, man, that was transformative for me because I looked and I was like, man, you're right. So technically I'm moving up weight classes, or a weight class in my case, but I'm really not moving up in weight. I'm just not having to boil myself down. So I think that Terrence is going to be...
This isn't about Crawford gaining weight. It's about him finally escaping the torture of weight cutting. Crawford isn't carrying extra pounds. He's dropping the chains that held him back. What if Crawford has been fighting at 50% power his whole career? Ward explained why this Crawford might be the most dangerous version we've ever seen.
I think that Terrence is going to be a lot stronger, and I think he's going to have better endurance. Not being able to boil himself down like that, and even though it is a huge jump, I think we lose sight of the fact of how much he had to boil down and how gaunt he looked at 140, and even quickly at 147. It got to the point where you start to cut into muscle mass. If you know anything about weight loss, at a certain point, that affects you in a boxing ring. Boxing, maybe wrestling, and MMA are the only sports where you have to tear yourself down for two months or 3 months, not just the training, but the weight loss. And then you have less than or right around 24 hours to put it back on. And then you need to go be great the next night. Everybody else gets to play or compete at their walking around weight or their playing weight. So I think that's going to favor Terrence Crawford, is not having to boil down 25 or 20. It's probably going to be about 10 to 12.
The endless torture of weight cutting is over. No more starvation. No more entering fights half dead. Most athletes compete at natural weight, but boxers suffer through a system that nearly kills them. Crawford isn't just moving up, he's being unleashed. But Ward didn't ignore Canelo. His next words sounded like a serious warning.
I think a couple of things are true. I think number one, I think Father Time is catching up to Canelo, but it's subtle. A little less punch output than normal. Maybe the reflexes have weaned just a little bit, but he's still better than most fighters in the world today. I don't think the Skull fight was a matter of age. I think Canelo Alvarez is extremely crafty, not just in the ring, but up here. And it's similar to a football team scrimmaging early in preseason. I'm not pulling out the playbook. I'm going to give you some mundane vanilla plays. We'll run some power left or some power right. We'll do a couple of slants. We'll show a little bit. But when we play you in the season, it's not going to be the same guy that you saw. So if people think that they're getting the Canelo Alvarez that fought Scrub, they're sadly mistaken. I think Canelo did just what he had to do. But when you face a real threat and you're a great fighter, you elevate mentally, psychologically, physically, because you have to. Canelo Alvarez is going to be different come September 13th.
Time might be catching up to Canelo, but legends always hide another gear. Canelo might look slower recently, but champions don't reveal their best until forced to. September won't show us old Canelo or fading Canelo. It will reveal a Canelo we've never met.
Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70-odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terrence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0. 31 knockouts, a southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong super middleweight, really, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo. But is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as his coming out party. The big news, it's on Netflix, so he'll get the attention.
His words felt like a warning wrapped in facts. A fight balanced on a razor's edge. He didn't ignore Canelo's power or legacy, but suggested Crawford's timing might be perfect. This isn't just another fight. It's destiny meeting unstoppable force. Smith tackled the biggest question. Can Crawford actually pull this off?
Do it. It's a huge step again in weights, but I think he's got the speed, and I think he's got the know-how, I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, to cause problems for Canelo, and I think that he could win it on points.
His answer wasn't hype or hope. He measured Crawford's speed, fight IQ, and adaptability against Canelo's mountain of experience. Somehow, his words opened the door for a massive upset. The door is open. Will Crawford walk through it? Robert Garcia didn't sugarcoat the cold facts. He laid out the harsh truth.
On paper, Canelo should win. Canelo's bigger and stronger. And if Canelo lands good punches, I think Canelo could hurt Crawford. Crawford's, first time in that division and jumping 2 divisions where he only had one fight at 154 and didn't look his best either. So there's a lot of questions, about that. And that's why a lot of people think Canelo is going to knock out Crawford, but
weight difference, size advantage, knockout power, everything favors Canelo. All questions about Crawford jumping up only make it scarier. Garcia painted the mountain Crawford must climb, and it's massive. But Garcia didn't completely count Crawford out. He gave credit where earned.
I'm probably one of the only ones that I do give Crawford a chance. Yeah. I think Crawford could pull it off. Crawford is very talented. He's very fast. He's very smart in the ring. So I think a perfect fight, Crawford could pull off a decision.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think he could win a decision. I don't pick him. I wouldn't put my money on him winning because it's a very dangerous, risky fight, especially with Canelo being so strong.
Crawford's speed, ring intelligence, ability to adapt mid-fight, these can't be ignored. Garcia showed where perfection could change everything, where one flawless night could rewrite history. Crawford's path to victory exists. It's just incredibly thin. Then Garcia pointed to the weakness that could explode this fight.
But Canelo's last few performances, he's looked slow, flat-footed, looking for one punch at a time. And if that's the Canelo that fights Crawford, Crawford could win a decision. Crawford could outbox him, could outsmart him, could land 3-4 punch combinations and move and win a decision. So do I give Crawford a chance? 100% think Crawford could pull it off. Would I put my money on it? Probably not, but I do give him a chance.
Yeah.
This goes beyond belts. It's about legacy. Canelo brings experience, devastating power, and proven success at 168. Crawford carries lightning speed, fight IQ, and hunger to shock the world. September 13th isn't just another date. It's when legends collide and history gets rewritten. So what's your call? Will Canelo prove he's the undisputed king at 168? Or will Crawford's speed and IQ create the upset nobody sees coming? Drop your prediction below and smash that subscribe button.